Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video of Fox Flicks on Pika Magic. Today we're checking out the brand new video in celebration of Wooper getting a new regional form of a poison type in the new Pokemon game Scarlet and Violet. Today we're checking out his video of giving Wooper a form of every type. Let's hop in.
This adorable little meme icon recently got a poison type regional variant. So let's see what a Wooper of every type might look like.
Let's see which type is first.
Hey everyone, Brandon here.
Hey,
So on
Brandon.
August 3rd, 2022, the internet was introduced to the incredible Paldean Wooper. And on that day,
poison type.
everything changed. So that led me to creating 16 more Woopers to fill the remaining types. We have
16?
Water Ground with
We
the
have
original
18
Wooper,
types?
and then Poison Ground with Paldean Wooper. So all these
Yes, we
Woopers will
do.
have the secondary ground typing as well. I worked with these two incredible artists to bring these variants to life, so make sure to check them out in the
amazing
description.
Tornadoes.
Now let's get to some Woopers, shall we?
Let's
Starting
do
us
this.
off is the Fairy type. One very
Ooh, a
specific
fairy
Wooper came to
Wooper,
mind
huh?
when I thought of a fairy type Wooper. The special heart-marked Wooper owned by Alicia in the anime. Hearts
Oh,
and
yeah.
love are great aspects that could be incorporated
that's a
into a
callback.
fairy type, so I dug a little deeper for inspirations and found the Leucistic Axolotl. It is light and dark pink in coloration,
Yeah, I can
which
see
ties
that.
perfectly into the hearts and love theme I had in mind. So put them together and you get this Wooper.
Oh,
Like Paldean
it's
Wooper,
cute.
I tried to make it so the same 4 things changed on each of these variants. The color, its mouth shape, the pattern on its chest/stomach, and Wooper's gills. Yes,
That's
those things on the
cute.
side of the heads of axolotls and larval salamanders are actually external gills.
Oh, we're gonna
which are
add.
what the
Hold on, folks. We're back. That was a short one.
little protrusions on Wooper's head are meant to emulate. Anyway, the gills and pattern on the chest have been changed to love hearts, not biological
Cute.
hearts, because that would be really terrifying. I
Yeah,
imagine
thank
the
God they're
heart
not
Wooper
biological
Alicia
hearts,
owned
but
was an
yeah.
ancestor to this Wooper and was essentially the first to develop
Oh,
the
you
heart
could nickname it
gene. This
Doki
Wooper
Doki.
developed the fairy
Yes.
typing through domestication. Domesticated Wooper with the heart gene became a highly desirable commodity. So more Wooper were bred to have it, which eventually led to other parts of its biology changing, such as its gills and type. If the colors
Makes
of the hearts
sense.
on this Wooper's head and chest are brighter, it means it's very happy and feels loved. But
Aw.
if not, the hearts will begin to turn dark purple and
Oh.
can even break. Next up, we have the
Oh,
fighting
that's
type.
sad.
This one was a bit tough, because how do you make a fighting type that has no arms? Literally
I mean,
every
you
fighting
can
type has
literally
arms of
learn
some
every
kind.
punch move.
I mean, Wooper having no arms didn't stop Game Freak from letting it learn Ice Punch, so I
Yep.
wasn't gonna let this stop me. But then I came across this fantastic artwork by Utagawa
Ooh.
Kuniyoshi called
Okay, that's
Samurai
cool.
Fighting Giant Salamander. This ukiyo-e style painting inspired me and made me think, why not just mix them? Which led to the creation of this Wooper. The gills of this Wooper
it's
are meant to
nice.
emulate a samurai's helmet, specifically the Fukugaeshi and the Shikoro, which protect the face and the head of the samurai. The pattern
can
on
see
its
that.
chest is meant to replicate the cuirass or do of a samurai armor, which typically have some sort of lined pattern on the chest.
He's very
This Wooper has a
serious.
strong sense of justice and courage. It will defend itself and others without wavering. It always acts with honor, honesty, and politeness to every Pokemon it meets. Trainers who use this Pokemon are said
bad.
to be as powerful as they are loyal. Next is the normal type. So here we have this Wooper. Does it look familiar?
It looks like a
This Wooper
Chansey.
is an ancient ancestor to both Wooper and Chansey. My buddy Alex
Oh.
suggested this and I loved the idea, so I rolled with it. Chansey's
Nice
ears
thinking.
or gills have always seemed like an odd feature for it to have, especially when compared to Happiny and Blissey, so this variant gives an explanation. Obviously, the
Okay.
gills are meant to reflect Chansey's gills, but also the pattern on its stomach emulates the Chansey line's egg pouches. This Pokemon was
Oh,
lost
yeah.
to the ages long ago, but
Not
its
bad.
ancestors Wooper and Chansey still live on, carrying on its legacy. It is said that if you rub the pattern on its stomach, good luck and happiness will be brought to you. Now for the ghost
It's a
type. As
sweetie.
always, this one's going to get a bit spooky. Actually,
Bring it
though,
on,
this one is
phantoms.
based on some things that are a bit creepy. Axolotls are frequently experimented on due to their incredible
no.
regenerative abilities. They can regenerate limbs, bones, or even portions of their brain. So here
Oh,
is
nice.
our ghost type
Oh,
Wooper.
that's
Its gills
cool.
are now a ghostly miasma, which are a reference to the axolotl's limbs being experimentally removed, but also phantom limbs. The feeling that
Oh,
some
yeah,
amputees
phantom
can have
limbs.
where they get the sensation that their missing limb is still there. The pattern on its chest, like Paldean
Oh, you
Wooper,
even
is
said
designed to
penicillin
emulate
that
a
you
rib
never had.
cage, but unlike Paldean Wooper, it is more so meant to look like the ribs of a decaying zombie. This Wooper is the result of
Nice.
experimentation by Pokemon scientists, who are looking to discover the secrets of infinity energy. It is seen skulking around abandoned
course you guys
laboratories,
did it.
trying to exact revenge on the scientists who made it this way. Moving on, we
How
have
could
the
you?
Psychic type. When looking at Salamanders and Axolotls for this video, I managed to come across the Lavender Axolotl, which just felt
Ooh.
perfect for a Psychic type. I
Lovely
also wanted to
coloring, I
incorporate
gotta
some
say that.
aspects of divination and fortune telling, so here is this Wooper. Rather than a
Oh.
pattern on its stomach, it has gained a third all-seeing eye,
Oh,
which in many
that's
religions
kind of-
and popular media gives one clairvoyance,
Okay.
precognition, or enlightenment. Its feathery gills covering its eyes refers to the claim that individuals who have lost one of their senses, such as blindness or deafness, have their other senses heightened. Also, the idea of not using your eyes to see, but
Maybe.
opening your third eye to see the truth. It is also a reference to headscarves worn by the Romani or Roma people, who are known to practice
Oh.
divination and fortune telling. This Pokemon
Okay,
only
not
sees
bad.
using its third eye, which it uses to see all around it and feel Pokemon's auras. It is not known if it even has eyes underneath its gills, or if it just covers them out of instinct. Now for the
Not bad.
Dark type. For this, I wanted to go in less of an evil direction, because how could this adorable face be evil? So instead, I
What could
opted
you
to go in
do?
more of an
Just give it a
Umbreon
switchblade?
direction and reference the moon and nighttime. Right after deciding that, I found out about the speckled black salamander. The pattern on its
Ooh,
skin reminded
cute.
me of a night sky and stars, so it matched up perfectly. So with all
I could
that
see
in
that.
mind, here is our Dark type Wooper. Its gills
my
are crescent
God.
moons, and the pattern on
It
its
is
stomach and tail
adorable.
are stars. This Wooper has adapted to only coming out at night. Its moon-shaped gills can
nocturnal.
glow in the dark, drawing in bug-type Pokemon for it to eat. Speaking of eating
Nice.
bug-type Pokemon, let's talk about this bug-type Wooper. This one is pretty
Ooh,
simple.
not
It's kind of
bad.
a you are what you eat kind of thing, where this Wooper ate so many bug-type Pokemon that it became one itself over time. And I mean, if a Alolan
Nice.
Raichu can eat so many fluffy pancakes that it gains the Psychic typing, this Wooper can do the same thing with bugs. Its design is
Game
mostly
Freak was
inspired
just
by the
pushing
mole
it with
cricket,
that one.
but also
Ooh.
its mouth is like Trapinch, a ground type based on a ground-dwelling bug. The gills are meant to
yeah.
look like antennae, and the little nubs on the chest and stomach are meant to reflect a pattern on the back of the mole cricket's abdomen. This Wooper likes to
Oh,
pester
okay,
other
that didn't look
Pokemon by
too bad
burrowing
then.
underground so it can't be found, and then proceeds to make very loud noises. It gets great joy from feeling the vibrations of other Pokemon trying to look for it to no avail.
Oh, we have
For
another
the
ad.
rock
Hold on, folks. We're back with the rock type.
we have this Wooper. Okay, I'm kind of
Ooh.
proud of the pun here. This
Kind
one
of
is
Greek.
based on the marbled salamander, but it's literally a marble salamander. Its gills refer to the
Oh.
curly hair used in many marble sculptures,
Nice.
such as David or Venus de Milo, which I found especially funny given
Nice.
Venus de Milo doesn't have arms, and neither does Wooper. The capital I-shaped pattern on its stomach is based on Ionic columns found in Greek architecture, in which these
I've
kind of
seen
marble
that.
statues can be seen resting upon. And many Greek gods and heroes are the basis of these statues, which tie in with the Ionic column's Greek origins. This
Nice.
Pokemon likes to pose dynamically to intimidate other Pokemon from attacking it. It is fairly fragile,
probably got
so this
great
is its best form of
defense.
defense. Next up is the Flying type. So here is this Wooper. As you can no doubt tell,
Oh
this
my-
one is a bit out there, but let me explain. This
That is a
Wooper is
bit out
based on
there.
the Wandering Salamander. These little daredevils like to sometimes skydive from redwood trees in Northern California. You know, some of the tallest trees on the planet.
Those are some
They can
dangerous
stretch their feet and
lizards.
tail to help them glide to the ground safely. This was such a wild phenomenon, I had to feature it. So that brings us to this Wooper. These parachute-like
then.
gills can actually be stored in the little white pouches on the side of Wooper's face, like an
Ooh,
airbag. This
clever.
artwork is just illustrating what they look like in action. The symbol on its stomach should be pretty recognizable, as it's the
Oh, it's a
symbol found on
helipad.
landing pads, usually for helicopters, which people can skydive from if they're real thrill seekers. This Pokemon likes to
Yeah,
climb
and
up
you don't
high
jump
into
too
mountains
high
or
and-
buildings, and then jumps from them so it can use its gills to glide high in the sky. Now for the electric type. Here it is. Since this
Ooh.
Wooper is an electric ground type,
Not
I thought,
bad.
hey, why not reference electrical grounds? So the symbol on its chest is the icon for electrical grounds. The gills not
Nice.
only look like lightning bolts, but also reference the wires used to connect to an electrical ground. This Pokemon
Okay, I
does
can
something
see
that
that.
no human should do, and uses its little fangs to bite into electrical wiring. Due to its typing,
Oh.
it can not only withstand the shock, but uses it to fuel itself. Like a little supercharged snack. If it
Oh,
gets
it's
caught
like a
snacking,
Joltik.
it will bury itself in the ground to hide. While we're on the topic of the ground, let's talk about the pure ground type, I had a couple inspirations for this one, but
It's
primarily
just a
the
salamander.
Hellbender Salamander. This big guy is really good at camouflaging with the riverbed. Weirdly,
Oh,
that
yeah.
made me think of that one scene in Rambo 2 where he covers himself in mud to camouflage himself. So I kind of combined those ideas into this Wooper. I really wanted
Oh,
to
not
avoid coming
bad.
off as similar to Paldean Wooper since it's so brown and ground type looking already, so I used the more riverbed color of the Hellbender and covered it in a muddy camouflage-like pattern. The
Yeah, I
gills are
could see
just meant
that.
to look muddy as well, but they also kind of look like Sylvester Stallone's wavy hair covered in mud. Kinda.
Yeah, kind of.
Look, I know it's a
Kinda.
stretch, okay? This Wooper buries itself in the mud to hide from predators, but
Hey, man, I
also
was
to wait
agreeing
for
with you.
prey to pass by so it can get a close range strike. For the grass type, I found out a very interesting fact about the spotted salamander, which is just
What'd you find?
wild. It turns out when the spotted salamander lays its eggs, a photosynthetic algae called Euphylla amblystomatis grows on the eggs and shares a
Oh.
symbiotic relationship with them, eating
Okay,
the
that's
nitrogen
cool.
waste the eggs create and then providing extra oxygenated water for the eggs. If you think that's
That's
cool, it gets
cool.
even crazier. It was initially thought that the symbiotic relationship ended when these eggs hatched, but it has been
It
discovered
carries
that
on?
the algae can be found in the cells of the salamander itself, making it the
Whoa.
world's only known photosynthesizing vertebrate, which is
Now that is
absolutely
awesome.
insane. So here is our grass type Wooper that references this. The green spots on its chest reflect the spots of the salamander it is inspired by, but also the shape
Love
of the
it.
spots refers to the pattern on pokey eggs, which connects back to
Oh,
the
yeah,
salamander's
I can
eggs
see that.
relationship with the algae. Its gills are just meant to look like leafy appendages to further the idea of its grass typing. This Pokemon uses the special spots on its stomach to take in energy. It
You
will
can probably
also
find
plant
it in,
itself
like,
in the ground to
little
rest,
river
in which
beds.
farmers will often mistake it for a crop and pull it up, awakening and angering this Pokemon. Next
Uh-oh.
up is the ice type. For this, we have yet another wacky salamander that it's based on, the Siberian salamander. Like the
Ooh,
well-known wood frog,
Siberian.
this salamander can survive deep freezes, sometimes remaining frozen for months. But once it thaws, it can walk off like nothing happened. They are able to do this because they can somehow
literally
replace their
cryogenically
blood with
freeze
the chemicals
itself.
of
Nice.
antifreeze. What? And I
Wait,
thought the
what?
last one was crazy. Anyway, here is our ice type Wooper. Its gills are
Ooh.
now icicles, and the pattern on its stomach references ice cube trays. The coloration
see
plays
that.
off of the Siberian salamander, but it also has a pretty gnarly inspiration that I won't show on screen. But it refers to severe frostbite and how the skin can turn black. Look that up at your own peril. I will not be held
Yeah, I
responsible.
don't need to look
It is
it
said
up. I
that this
understand
Wooper came
completely.
about when a group of them was forced from their home and pushed north to a harsh, wintry land that it had to adapt to. Now for steel. I won't lie, I probably had the most trouble coming up with this one, until I found out about something in metallurgy also called a salamander. It is a mass of solidified
Whoa.
iron removed from a blast furnace to prevent it from blocking the tap hole. The kind of iron that blast
Oh.
furnaces are typically used for is called pig iron, which is smelted to make
Okay.
steel. So here is our steel type Wooper. The symbol
Not
on its stomach
bad.
is a pig snout to reference the pig iron it is based on. And the gills are based on
This is
steel
nice.
reinforcing bars, which are mainly used in construction. You can see them sticking out of concrete once it's been broken. This Wooper is
Yeah.
known for its distinct ability to withstand heat. It loves to drink molten iron and even take baths in it.
Oh,
Speaking of
man,
heat,
that thing
it's
is
time for the
crazy.
fire type. This is another pretty simple one. I went with the mythological creature of the salamander, which in many
Nice.
depictions is a fire elemental of sorts. So here is our fire type Wooper. It has
Looks
fiery
cute.
gills and a fire pattern on its stomach, which is actually a pun and refers to the fire belly salamander. You could really
Oh,
say
look
that
at
this
that.
salamander has a fire in its belly. This Pokemon soaks up the intense heat of volcanoes and is even said to breathe fire. Fire breathing. Kind of
Not
like
bad.
a dragon. Oh yeah, let's talk about the dragon type. So for this, I went in a similar vein to the Dragon Oricorio in that of every type video,
Oh, yeah, I
where the
remember.
dragon typing is displayed through a large looming presence. Well, what has a large presence? How about a king or an emperor? Well, there is the Emperor
Emperor
Newt, but this
Salamander?
little guy doesn't really have a big presence. What if we mixed it with a bigger salamander? No. How about the biggest salamander?
A Komodo
and
dragon?
The biggest of them all is the Chinese giant
Oh,
salamander.
damn, that's a
So
big
put all
one.
these concepts
That's
together
a
and
big
we
boy.
get this Wooper. As you can see, it is a bit more busy design-wise than the others, but that is because it is the King Wooper. And it is
I love it.
huge. Even bigger than a Quagsire. It is
Whoa.
partly inspired by King Bob-omb from the Super Mario franchise. It has its
I still
crown
love
and
it.
even its royal attire. The pattern on its chest references the toxic bulbs of the Emperor Newt, but also looks like the military uniforms worn by royalty. Its relationship
Nice.
to other Woopers, I imagine, is like the Alpha Dragon in How to Train Your Dragon, where no
I can
matter the
definitely see
species,
that.
this King Wooper commands them all. Let me know which of these Woopers was your favorite. Thanks for watching, and with that, I will see you guys next time.
Alright, and with that, folks, that is where we're going to end off today's video. So, I want you all to remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Well, down in the description will be a link to the original video, so remember to support Brandon and everything he does, and I'll see all you folks next time when we flick on. Peace out.